Hello, my name is Dwayne. I'm the person behind the voice you hear on the accordion lessons, if you've been taking them. Now this is going to be something new on the website. It's video introductions, tutorials, more or less to show you the different parts of the accordion, maintenance of the accordion, little things you can do, a couple little repairs that you can do yourself, and then inner workings of the accordion. I'll take one apart and show you what a reed block looks like and where they're located and what the bass section looks like, what the bellows look like. But for today, it's just introduction, myself, and the basic workings of an accordion, what they are. Okay, the very first one I'm going to use is this Panjet right here. It's a Panjet 45. Now I'm going to get the pan settings down so you can see the accordion here. And turn the zoom down, I guess, there. Okay, this is may look familiar to you if you've ever watched Lawrence Welk or something like this. This is one of the original accordions that Myron Florin played. It's a pan accordion. It's the Panjet 45 model. This accordion has 41 keys, counting the black and the white. These are the switches, also actually called registers. And there's also another switch right here. And that's a master switch. That turns all the reeds on at once. Now, in this section of the accordion, the treble side, the piano key side, whatever you want to call it, there's 4 sets of reeds, 4 wooden blocks filled with reeds. Now, the reeds operate on, on when the accordion is expanded and contracted, when the bellows are opened and closed. I'll just unsnap this thing here, and this is what I mean when you're opening and closing the bellows. That's when the reeds are operated, but not the way I just did it. There's a button over here on the side that lets air in and out. Every accordion, no matter how small they are, that has that button. When you push a key down, that's when the air comes in and goes out. Now, when I push this down, this A key, any key, you hear when I open and when I close. You can hear a little break there. That's because there is a reed that is activated or vibrates when you open the accordion. There's a corresponding reed that's activated or vibrates when you close the accordion. When you start to close an accordion, if you're on whatever key you're on, there's an actual little dead spot there. It might be a millisecond, but it's a dead spot that when you're switching over to the other reed. So generally when we're playing songs, if you're holding a key down, let's say it's tied to another measure and you got, say, 6 beats altogether on it. You don't want to change direction of your bellows while you're holding that key down for 6 beats. This is assuming the song has 3 beats in a measure. Because if you do, you will hear where you start to go in on the bellows or change direction of the bellows. Generally, we try to change directions in between notes. That way it's a lot smoother. You don't really hear the slight hesitation when you're in the change of bellows. There will be also a little bit of volume change because you're not going to open the bellows and close the bellows with the same amount of pressure. A little more pressure causes more volume out of the accordion. So there's several variables there when it comes to opening and closing the bellows. Main thing is try to change direction of the bellows in between notes, not while a note is being held down. This isn't always possible, but, you know, if you can do it, do it. Now back to this accordion. Like I say, these are the keys. There's 41, white and black. The registers inside of here, or inside of the accordion in here, actually, there's 4 blocks of wood. They're about that long, and they fit right in this section here. And each block of wood has reeds embedded in it in beeswax. Now there's 2 reeds for every note here. If you got the bassoon block out, that's the lowest sounding block of reeds there is in this accordion. They're tuned at what's called 440 or just dry tuned. In this accordion, there's 4 blocks, like I said, 4 sets of reeds. 2 of the sets are clarinet reeds. They're at an octave higher pitch than the bassoon reeds. Some call it 220. I still call it 440 because that's dry tuned. They're also dry tuned. Then there's a set of piccolo reeds, which is like 2 octaves higher in tone than the bassoon reed, and that's called a piccolo reed. In this accordion, there's a bassoon, 2 clarinets, and a piccolo. Now, some accordions have 2 bassoon in it. Those are usually they're played for jazz music and stuff like that. So you don't usually find them too much, except they're a lot more expensive, high-end accordions. This one of the clarinet reeds is mistuned, just by a little bit. Mistuned about what's called about 5 to 7 cents high in frequency. In other words, cents, C-E-N-T-S, is a degree of mistuning. It isn't much mistuning, but it's enough to cause a vibrato effect when that block of reeds is played along with the 440 dry tuned reeds. You'll get a vibrato. That's musette. This one has a light continental musette, is what it's called. It's not a polka musette. It's just enough to give it a little light twinge of musette. On the accordion lessons, this is the accordion you mainly are hearing. I used to use my new one, the Excelsior, when I first started the lessons. About lesson 30, 35, somewhere in there, I got this accordion. And I bought this one, this one is made like in the 1970s. So it's an old accordion, but it's in perfect shape. I got it from a real reputable dealer. And he went all the way through it before I bought it, and paid a nice price for it. But it's a classic, and I guess some people collect old cars, and I collect accordions. Not really collect them. I got 4. But anyway, this is considered a classic. It's got the reeds in this thing are excellent. They're hand-tuned reeds. And the switches, there's only 8 switches, 9 counting the master. Normally, one of these switches on regular accordions is a master. This one doesn't have a master here. The master is this slide switch that you get with your palm. When you hit one of these switches, it's only turning on certain reed blocks. Like one of them is just the piccolo all by itself. That's a real high pitch. You don't generally use that one. Then you have one that just turns the clarinet on all by itself, and one that just turns the bassoon on all by itself. Then you have one that turns the bassoon and the clarinet on together, one that turns the bassoon, clarinet, and the piccolo on, and then 2 that add the clarinet mistuned, the ones that are mistuned. It adds them in, and it's called, one's called a bass musette. And that's adding the bassoon and the mistuned clarinet reed in. And it's a real light musette. Then there's one that they call a French musette. It's 100 miles away from really a French musette. But anyway, it's the 2 clarinets are played together. And you do get more of you can hear more of the vibrato. So you can't really play this with this webcam. There's something with the software. a musical instrument will distort right away. So just the note I played, I'm not sure until I play this back whether that distorted to you or not. But anyway, that gives you the idea of what's going on the right side. Now, we're over here on the left side. Now I'm going to just zoom in a little bit here. And then pan over to that side. Whoops, wrong pan. Okay, now, on this accordion, you've got, up here, you've got 6 rows of buttons. Each row has 20 buttons in it. It comes up to 120 bass. This is your diminished row, 7th row, minor, major, fundamental bass, and counter bass. Now on this accordion I have rhinestones set on these 3 buttons. And all they are for is to find where you are on the accordion. And that's all they are. They're just a reference point. If I have to go, let's say, from C, this is C, to, say, a B, I'll usually follow lightly up there, and when I feel that rhinestone, I know I only got one more. I got one more to go up, and I'm on a B. If I'm going down to, say, an A flat, all I do is follow this down, and there's an A flat. If I want a D flat, that's right below it. So if I'm following down, I'll feel that rhinestone, then one more down is D flat. That gives you quite a range, and they're just markers for your fingers to know kind of where they are. Now, normally these accordions don't have these rhinestones in them. This C is usually concave; it's dented in, and it's easy to find with the middle finger. This one up here usually has scratches on it. You can find it, but this is a whole lot easier. And the same thing with this A flat down here. It's got scratches on it. So the A flat and the E usually are scratched up on the surface, and that's factory done. So all I did was just have these rhinestones. I put them in, and we've got a Dremel tool that I do this with. I might show that to you in the later videos. These over here are the registers. This is what changes the sound. This side of the accordion right here, the bass side, has 5 sets of reeds. That's how you get the name Panjet 45. 4 sets on the treble side, 5 sets here on the bass side. This is the master switch. This has the most volume, has all the reeds turned on. This one down here is has the bassoon reed in it, bassoon set of reeds in it, but it's more muted, less volume. I generally use this switch. I very seldom use a master switch on the left hand, and I very seldom use the master switch on the right hand. Usually use this one. This switch, this one, and this one are just too high a pitch. The bassoon reeds are missing, and I really have never saw any music where I ever wanted to use those switches. I've got another accordion. It's got 7 switches on this side, and I only use 2. Same deal here. The master or the muted master. I call it the muted master. It's less volume, less noticeable. When I'm on the accordion lessons, I'll put the master on only because if there's any bass solos, runs over here, I can you can hear them better because this has more volume to it then. So that's basically what's the parts of the accordion. Of course, let me pan out or zoom that out a little bit here. Not in, out. There you go, Doreen. These are the bellows, of course, and these there's an air button right here, and this is what puts the power to the accordion. This is your generator right here. Shoots the old air power to the reeds. And when the air blows across the reeds vibrate. And when the reeds vibrate, they create the note that you're trying to obtain, or the note that you mistakenly hit. So that's pretty much. I'm going to snap this one back together so there's no funny. And that's basically what's in this accordion. In the back, your upper end accordions usually have one of these. My hand is wrong. A pad. This pad just protects the back of the accordion here. When this accordion wasn't protected, and I think you can see it in the, yeah, right there. I'll zoom in on this a little bit. See these scratches? Those are all from somebody wearing a wristwatch on their left hand. Generally, people wear wristwatches on your left wrist. Accordion players wear wristwatches on your right wrist, and that's why, right there. Whoever owned this accordion at one time didn't know about that little trick. Anyway, this is the, like I say, this is the one you generally hear. Now I'm going to show you my good accordion, my real big one. This is a 1.5 years old. It's the Excelsior 911. This is special built in Italy. It took about 3 months to get it. This is called, the same thing here. This has got 4 sets of reeds on this side, 5 sets of reeds on this side. As you can see, this one has 6 switches. Once again, there's the master, the little bump right there. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. See the little bump right there? That's that kind of spot you can tell it's a master. This is the muted master down here. Instead of this one, it's this one down here. This is the one I usually always use. This one, once again, on the left hand, has I put jewels in this one too, or the rhinestones. Come in on it a little bit. You can see the rhinestone there. There's another one up here. This doesn't stick out as much probably because the buttons on this accordion are white, so they're not sticking out quite as much. Well, not hardly at all. There you can see this one here. Same places, same reason why they're there. Now let's pan up here a little bit. Okay, like I say, it's got the 5. I'm using the wrong hand. It's got the 5 reed blocks on this side, 4 on this side. Reed blocks work the same way. 1 for going out, 1 for going in. The real difference on this one is, like I say, this one is a double musette. And I'll see if I can pan in and oh, that's not going to show up real well. I can see that right now. Right here is what's telling you what's going to be played. Okay, this one has got has a little dot there at the bottom. This one has one in the middle, and this one has the bottom and the middle dots. That's not going to work out real well because I'm getting some glare. So, but anyway, the difference between this accordion and the other one, it's a double musette accordion, and what it is, it's got, instead of a set of bassoon reeds, 2 sets of clarinet, and a piccolo set. It's got 1 set of bassoon reeds, which are dry tune, 440, and 3 sets of clarinet reeds. 1 set is dry tune. So you've got 2 sets of reeds in here, a bassoon and 1 of the clarinets is dry tune. So you can, I used to use this accordion when we first started. You never knew I had a musette accordion on when I was playing. It also has 2 more sets of reeds, of clarinets. One is mistuned by about 8 cents low. The other one's about 16, 17 cents high. So this has a much more musette sound to it than the pan jet did. This one is the kind of music I like to play. I like French musette, French cafe music, Italian, German is what I like. German uses more of a continental musette like the pan jet, but French use a real heavy musette. In fact, their musette is about 20 cents high and about 10 cents low. That's a heavy musette. And the Italian musette, of course, made in Castel del Fardo, Italy. This is, of course, they got their Italian musette in it. Plenty enough musette for me. There's about 4 or 5 selections of musette. when you play all three clarinets at the same time, that's what I call a polka switch. It's a good full sound. Like I say, if I play it in front of this web cam, it's going to distort. I know this camera pretty well. I could have done it with a digital camera or a digital photo camera or my camcorder, but I don't have this pan and tilt and everything and the zoom. So, you know, you 6 of one, half dozen the other, so I went with the webcam. This is a high-end webcam. It's just that it's not, you know, the audio sucks in it. Bad. So anyway, that's what I'm meant to tell you about accordion for right now. Kind of introduce to you, show you the sides I'm on, how the bellows, you know, there's two sets. The main thing you probably didn't know, there was two sets of 2 reeds for each key. One for opening, one for closing. So that, I'm going to wrap it up for this lesson, this introduction video. And in following videos, I'll probably the next one I'll give you be a what we'll call a maintenance video, where you know how to keep it cleaned up and some real spots to watch, especially in between the bellow folds. Yeah, that can really pick up a lot of grime. And once you get grime, remember, them bellows are opening and closing all the time. And that grime will start working on them bellows, and pretty soon you'll end up with pinholes in there. So it's real important to keep the folds in them bellows, and especially in the corners, the 4 corners, cleaned right out. I use a nice soft paintbrush to clean that stuff out. You can use a vacuum, you know, like a small, I suppose, a dirt devil or something like that. I don't know if you can get in there with one of them. But anything, you got to keep that cleaned out. And then every once in a while, you have to take the bellows right out and clean out the inside too. Because remember, this is sucking air in from outside. If you look inside your computer, you'll find all kinds of dust bunnies laying all over the place in there, no matter how many fans you got going in the computer. And I'm sure you've seen that. And that's sucking air in from the outside too. So you can imagine inside the bellows is going to have some dust bunnies eventually in there. So it's a good idea to take it apart once in a while, take the bellows off, and clean them right out on the inside. It's just preventive maintenance is all it is. So we'll just kind of conclude this video here, and I hope this helps novices, neophytes that aren't real familiar with accordion. They know what they are, but give you a little idea what's going on. You know, and like I say, the big accordion's got 4 sets of reeds on right side. The smallest accordion's got 2 sets of reeds on the right side. So it all depends on what size accordion you want. So for now, we'll wrap it up, and the next video will be maintenance, and try and get that up as soon as I can. So have a good day.